Yo, what's up? This is Jebediah's Emporium, where I emporize my Jebediahhood, and then I watch myself. In this video, at least, because of the brackets you see. Well, the parentheses, but whatever. I want to make a video in which I talk about my novel a little bit more. Give a novel update. After, I don't know how long it's been, I'm not keeping track of this. However long it's been. Where am I? Well, I had a lot of, well, I wouldn't say a lot. For this particular piece, for this particular work, I had a lot of Dunning-Kruger. So, I thought that I had the whole novel plotted out after like a day. But I didn't, obviously. I had a novel planned out. It wasn't the one that ended up suiting, though, the whole thing. So, I had to do a major redo. But it is looking fine. It is looking sweet. Wow, yeah. I'm really happy with the character dynamics and the world that I've built. It ended up being really speculative. Well, I would say it falls into speculative fiction. I'm not going to talk about it talk about the novel itself, though, the content in the novel, and like on the channel until I read it out. You know what I mean? I'm just leaking to like very specific people that I know. Who get like a sneak peek, but really on this channel, I'm saying even the amount that I've said in that little series I made is absolutely it's just a tiny scratch on the massive Minecraft plane that is this novel. So it's kind of fantasy, kind of. So it is. I would say it is. It's cool, though. It's really awesome, and I'm liking it. And, so at least that means that I'll have a book. Because, like, I've gotten into this. Into this book here. And it's strange. I've heard authors say before that, you know that you've sort of really got the vision of the book in your head. When you can take a look, you can go into the character's head and then take a look at the left and right and then just sort of know what's there. I don't think that's true at all. Not for me anyway. But a similar thing is true. It sort of is that way for narrative decisions in general. I can take a look at the left and right of the character. I can say, okay, what is Dennis's, like, who does he have to deal with all the time, every day? You know what I mean? And then somehow that just manifests now. And it doesn't do that when you've only got one character. So I wasn't used to the process of a novel, specifically. It's a longer form. So it's a little more difficult to get used to. It's probably why a lot of people want to be writers, and few people break through the first novel and then really know how not hard it is. So overall, though, I can't talk about the structure. I can, obviously. I'm restricting myself, so in that sense, I can't, according to what because every time I talk about it too much, I get too put too many expectations on myself, I guess. But it's novellas and short stories kind of all in a conglomerate that, well, the novellas break the pace. It's only like two in the whole thing. One near the 40-ish% of the book, and one at the very end. There's going to be a whole novella at the end. All the other ones are short stories. Most of the things are going to be short stories. So you're kind of taking a journey through a lot of different characters' heads, and then a couple characters that have main stories, and they all are tied together by a thing that I can't talk about. So, yeah, in general, things are really looking nice. I've got a nice cast of characters that just emerged, and damn, they are looking sexy. Not really. I make my characters look pretty grotesque and nasty. They're pretty weird. Either they're eccentric as hell, or they're just unaware of their own just intolerability in some way. But, you know, I think now that I have a more mature understanding of this project that I'm taking on, it'll take me a matter of months. Maybe one month is what I'm estimating. But if it's anything like word count, where you underestimate the word count, right? And I'm talking about a month from now. If it's anything like where I underestimate the word count in writing this book, it might take longer than a month. But my gut says a month. So, who knows? I actually estimated this one not too far off. So, in a month or so. And this also means I won't be uploading very many videos. And if I do, they'll be short. Because I'm spending hours every day pondering these stories. You know what I mean? Pondering these stories, or you know, spending time like playing video games and writing it. Like, it's weird. I'm code switching. I usually don't play video games, but I found that if I do, and have my laptop nearby, but open to where I can look at what I wrote, like I can just view little snippets at a time. While I'm playing, the little off-pause loading times, I'll just write a few sentences, and then that builds up a lot. Like, it's pretty cool. It's like, damn, I'm like finding a way to be productive playing video games. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah, I have to say, I've really made the process work a lot more. Oh, something else. I was going to talk about more topics under the whole general circle of taking your time as a writer, or as a creator in general. I realized something while working on this book, that you need to synthesize a lot of your ideas if you're an NE user, right? I had a whole bunch of ideas. I had too many, maybe. I don't really think you can have too many, but you can have too many in one book. No, that's not even true either. You can't have, as long as you condense the ideas well, you can't have too many ideas. That's really the thing. A more nuanced way of looking at it, and I think it's better. So, you know, where was I? Shit, let me think. Yes. Taking your time. One character, you know, is what I started with, and so I thought, I didn't expect it to characters to be the thing that was going to take a lot of time. For some reason. I don't know. It kind of feels like getting to know somebody. In a way. It's like, I mean, I've heard that analogy before. But I like it, you know, because it's true. It's like everything else in the book gets harder as you go on. It gets diminishing returns, you know what I mean? Because you get all of that easy. Locations, in my case, what circumstances tie these people together, all that sort of stuff. The characters themselves, you can't just pump out. Like, ugh, it makes you mad. It makes me mad. I want to pump it out. I want to pump the character out, and just get to know their whole being. You know what I mean? After just like a few sentences, and it's like that's ridiculous, but that's what I assumed that I could do. I could just make this person, you know. But it's like you can only get a picture of the person, and then you sort of live in their shoes in your head. Only then can you write from their perspective. So, you know, if you're writing, a tip I would say, if you're writing a novel, in particular, and not like a short story anthology, the short story anthology, it's easier to do either way, or any sort of variation of a short story anthology, like I'm doing, a weird hybrid thing, is to start with like a location, describe a place, describe some news article of some creepy event if you're doing horror or something, I don't know. Be creative with it, but you don't necessarily have to start with a person. I started with a blemish on a concrete wall, technically, because I do like to make titles first. I like to, because that is fun, to make it just a title for a short story, and then I'm also doing it to where I write short stories, a bunch of them, in my spare time, and those, you know, raw short stories, so to speak, I never plan on necessarily publishing them. They're just for me and my friends, you know. If I have a really funny or good one, I'll just share it with my friends, but then if I really like it, I'll turn it into something longer, like a book, or a larger book. So, I mean, yeah, it's because they're not gonna be books, they're just gonna be like little documents in short story form, in raw form, rather. So, I might even upload raw form short stories on here, because I don't have any expectation of them being good. They're kind of like these videos, you know what I mean? Nothing really, you know, no, don't go into those thinking, like, it's gonna be like a treasure trove of, like, mostly terrible stuff, and then some gold, and then other bad stuff, and I'll go through waves, too. I always go through weird cycles as an artist. I was gonna end this video a long time ago, but I'll say this, where I'll just make a bunch of really good stuff, and then for like a good week, you know, fucking sucks a little bit, but it's whatever. Yeah, that's about all I want to say. Cool. I'm gonna end this video now. Haha.